And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to our final story of the evening, one set right here in Glasgow. It's about a house. That house. The one where years and years ago something bad happened. Children whisper about it. No one ever lives there for long. Aye, right. You don't believe all that nonsense, do you? What? Or somebody's cousin's best mate's brother saw a face at the window, did he? Come on, it's just a trick of the light. Or they were pissed. You know that it's all just stories. Just a big joke. I mean, it is a joke, right? Here is Marty Ross with A Whisper of Black Silk.
Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Well, it was just a joke, wasn't it? A laugh among the lads, a stag night gag, saying goodbye to one more good man lost. Good man, the best of the best, my mate, Big Malky, Big Alky, Malky, the times we had, Malky and me. Until up she popped out of nowhere. Her, that fancy piece of stuff coming out of nowhere with her fancy ideas, her college education, her Newton Mearns vows, winning the heart of Big Malky, winning them away from us, from me and the boys. What was left for us to do but, well, give him a stag night he would never, ever forget. It was Fat Frankie who came up with the best idea. Have we not heard, says Frankie, the story of Bonnie Annie Sharp? Well, of course, we all had. Wasn't it just round the corner? Yon big, old, decrepit, abandoned townhouse, facing the dark end of Queen's Park. Wasn't that where it all happened? Way back in, 1867. Annie Sharp, a child of the Govan Hill tenements. But a girl wanting to make her way in the world. So she gets herself a job as the governess, the nurse to the children of a grand fancy pants widower, living in that grand old townhouse back in its grand old days. And they do say that of an evening, his nibs would tiptoe up the stairs all the way up to the top floor where the nursery was located and kiss the children goodnight. And then he would take Annie into a shadowy corner and kiss her too. Kiss her and more. But that all came to an end. For one day comes the announcement. His nibs, the grand widower, he is engaged to be married, not to Annie, oh no. He's engaged to be married to some grand young lady from Park Circus up the West End, the sort of young lady a man like that would marry. As you can never, of course, never marry Govan Hill Annie. So Annie's consigned once more up to the shadows of the top floor, the shadows of the nursery. One evening, there's a grand soiree, a celebration for the marriage to be, popping champagne corks, toasting, yes, the bride to be. And then when that's all done and dusted, we kiss you goodnight, darling. See you at the church, my darling. And then his nibs creeps upstairs to the nursery and attempts to say a wee sorry to the abandoned Annie. But it's too late. Annie has been sat up there in the shadows the whole night long, listening to the festivities down below, the festivities to which, of course, she's not invited. She's been chewing and gnawing on her long, long nails, till now those nails are all fractured and jagged and splintered. And they said at the inquest she'd pulled a bar off one of the children's cribs, pulled it off so it was all jagged and pointed at one end. And then when his nibs comes in the door to say, Annie, my darling, I'm so sorry, she bolts forward, and with that jagged end, she drives it right in under his chest bone, and with those jagged, broken, splintered fingernails of hers, she tears the heart out of his chest. Well, of course, she goes to the gallows, but they do say, and here's the thing, they say the ghost of Bonnie Annie Sharp still haunts the top floor. So there was the idea. What if we get our Malky, all drunk, fill his head with beer and spirits and tales of spirits, and take him to yon big house? Dare him, does he dare go up the top floor and see if he can see the ghost of, Bonnie Annie Sharp? Of course, the idea originally was we would hire some tart for the night, get her dressed up in Victorian finery. She pops out the shadows, woo, gives him a fright, and then, of course, she strips off her Victorian finery, really shows our boy a good time. But then I says, no, boys, listen, I've got a better idea. Shh, I've got a better idea. What if he goes up there? He sees the figure, woo, rising out the shadows, and it's me. Me. I could dress up, in like a woman's dress. I mean, a drag act on a stag night. What could be funnier than that? And of course, they could all see the funny side, the boys. So comes the night of the stag do. They takes our Malky down the pub. Yours truly, meanwhile, creeps into yon abandoned, old, derelict house, all the way up the dusty stairs, all the way up to the old top floor, the old nursery. And there, of course, I gets into my Victorian woman's clobber. Because I've been round to yon big fancy costume shop just off Argyle Street. We've got real old Victorian widow's weeds, all black silken waist and a big scary old veil, like something out of a ghost story. And there I gets ready and a hunkers down in a shadowy corner there, the old nursery, and I waits. But while I waited, it was funny because them walls seemed to almost curl about me. And they were still all covered in old rags, Victorian wallpaper, all patterned with roses, with stalks and stems and vines and thorns. And here and there in the ragged wallpaper, I could see great tears down the wallpaper. And I wonders to myself, were those the tears that Annie, waiting, put there herself that very night with her long, jagged, broken fingernails? Surely not. But then commotion downstairs. I can hear the boys, all of them half cut. And I can hear them teasing our Malky. Does he have the nerve? Does he have the guts? Is he man enough to wander upstairs and see if he can see the ghost? Well, it's a stag night. A boy can't say no to a deer now, can he? So I hears him drunkenly beginning to stumble up them dusty stairs all the way up towards me. And up there in the nursery, I waits and I laughs to myself, quiet like, And then I wasn't laughing, because it was funny. Well, not really funny at all. Yon great big black Victorian woman's dress, it was so heavy upon me. And when I moved in it, it rustled. No, it didn't rustle. It whispered. And as it whispered about me, thoughts began to come into my head. I don't know from where, thoughts of how it must have been for Annie that night, all them years and years ago, abandoned there in the shadows, listening to him, his nibs, and his new girl downstairs. Abandon her. I could feel how pain she must have been, abandoned there like a raw, open wound left there in the dark for flies and dust to gather. And I thought, it's not the same with me. Am I not being abandoned likewise by him as he runs off with his fancy piece? Of course I knew it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same because I'm a man. I'm a man's man. I'm a man's man, so it's no the same. But all the same, what was that there? There, that figure over there just by the door. Oh, it was just my reflection in the great old, dusty, cracked, yellow mirror hanging there alongside the door. It was my reflection, wasn't it? And then suddenly there he was in the doorway, Malky. I pulls on my veil. I steps forward, that dress rustling about. No, not rustling, whispering. And big Malky there, he looks upon me and he laughs, burps, and laughs. Who are you to laugh at me? Who are you to ban me for that woman to leave me here in the dark? Who are you? Who am I? These hands here in front of me, whose hands were they? These long, jagged, ragged, splintered nails, were they my hands? And this here, suddenly here in my hand, some broken bit of furniture, some old bit of furniture, jagged at one end. Where did it come from? I didn't care. All that mattered was he was still laughing at me. He was laughing at me. He was abandoning me. And he would laugh at me no more. He would abandon me no more. It was funny, really. Big, strong, hard as nails, Malky, that chest bone on him. It opened up like a sardine tin I had rammed a kitchen knife through, revealing all his pink juices and meats beyond. Oh, I caught him in my arms, that dying breath he cast so warm into my face, that steaming heat he soaked me in, as the weight of him dragged us both down to the floor. And then he was nothing. He was just a mess on the floor, a great steaming reek. And then I could hear the boys downstairs calling up, "Are you all right there? Yeah, he didn't give you too much of a scare, did he? You all right, boys?" And then I could hear them coming up the stairs, stomp, stomp, stomp. And I thought I have to run, I have to hide. They can't find me here with this. They'll hand me over to, no. I had to turn, run, hide, here. This great dusty corner. I retreated into the dusty corner. There I huddled, but I knew they would see me the moment they came through the door. But it was funny. As I huddled there in that corner, it was as if all those stalks and stems and thorns and vines and the ragged wallpaper were winding themselves around me, winding themselves around and around me, dragging me deeper into the dark, deeper into the dusty dark. But suddenly there they was, the boys in the doorway. Fat Frankie screamed. Shug puked on the floor. Wee Timmy broke into tears. It was only Sean had the presence of mind to pull out his phone and tap out the number for Pois, help, Pois. And then they was coming across the floor, across the room towards me, and I knew they would see me any moment. And I huddled back further against that wallpaper where the vines and the stems almost seemed to snake around me, and they were coming closer. And then they was walking past me that way, walking past me this way, still calling as if they couldn't see me there. And then next thing I knew, the post was arriving outside, cars screeching to a stop. Doors opening, closing. The post feet stomping up the stairs, pushing the boys aside, shining their torches every which way, shining their torches upon that mess there upon the floor. And then towards the corner where I still cowered, where yes, I still felt those vines and stems and stalks in the wallpaper winding themselves all around me, where I seemed to feel the brick and mortar of the house itself grinding its way through the marrow of my bones, where I could almost feel the dust and cobwebs of the place settling thicker in the curls of my mind, in the curls of my lungs. And as I looked out even upon them, it was as if I was looking out through cracked and dusty yellow glass, like the glass of the mirror over there. But still there I was in the corner. Here came the Polish torch beams, closer. And then the torch beams were going this away. The torch beams were going that away. And the Polish was walking past as if they couldn't see me neither. And then next thing I knew, they was peeling that mess off the floor, carrying it out, all of them going, leaving me alone and unseen. And it was only then, you see, it began to come together in my head that I had been pulled into all in the house that was invisible, and yet could never, not ever, be exorcised. I'd been pulled into the dust, pulled into the dark, pulled into the faded pattern of the tattered wallpaper. Most of all, I had been pulled into her. Pulled into Annie. Herself unseen, herself never, ever seen. But always, forever there. And now you see, I don't even know who's telling you this story. Is it me or is it her? I mean, can you see me? Can you see me as a shadow at the corner of your eye, a pattern in the faded, ragged wallpaper? Look closer at that wallpaper. Look here. My hand sticking out from the old wallpaper. Here, my hand. Take it. Pull me free. I don't care about the police. Pull me free while there's still time. No, look here. My hand. Take it.
I would not reach out were I you, ladies and gentlemen. Your time with our tales is done. Leave the ghosts and ghouls where they belong, in the dark.
This world is endless, so wide, so far, but somehow I'm still lost in you. The streets are full of moving shadows, countless places I could go. City shining, people passing, yet I still feel so alone. Every road keeps leading nowhere, every sky feels cold and blue. In this world so vast and open, I'm still lost in missing you. The world is wide, so wide before me, but I keep losing my way. Somewhere in the endless distance, your memory makes me stay. Still lost in missing you. I have tried to outrun silence, tried to leave your ghost behind, but your name still echoes softly through the corners of my mind. The world is wide, so wide before me, but I keep losing my way. Somewhere in the endless distance, your memory makes me stay. The world moves on without us, but my heart untrue. For no matter where these feet may wander, I'm still lost in missing you. Maybe someday I'll stop searching for your face in every crowd, but until that day, this broken heart will keep calling your name out. The world is wide, so wide before me, but I keep losing my way. Somewhere in the endless distance, your memory makes me stay. The world moves on without us, but my heart remains untrue. For no matter where these feet may wander, I'm still lost